Now, let's talk about the low leak test. Now, the low leak test, there are two ways you can check the air compressor for leaks with the low leak test. Now, remember, the low leak test is the first L out of the LLSSP, which are the 5 tests to conduct an air brake system test. Okay, the low leak, low warning, spring, service, parking. Okay, so we've covered those. Let's now cover the low leak test, because there are two ways to do this test. Two ways you can use. Now, this test is used to do what? Check the air compressor for leaks. You're right. You got it. You remember. Okay, so now that we know what we're checking for leaks, let's find out how we would check it for leaks. Okay, so it's two ways. One is called the applied way. Okay, and the other one is called the static way. Okay, now the applied way is just what it says. You're applying something. And the static way, all static means is you're standing still. Okay? So that's how we're going to do that test. Sorry, I was dropping something. Okay. So now there are also 5 steps to conduct an applied test. In order to do an applied test, which will check the air compressor for leaks, which is one of the ways to check the air compressor for leaks, you would first start with a fully charged system. Now, we know what a fully charged system is, right? A fully charged system, in case you forgot, is a 125 psi. 125 psi. Okay? Now, that's a fully charged system. Now, a fully charged system is also known as the cutout rate. Okay? The cut-in rate is 100 and the cut-out rate is 125. 125 is a fully charged system and 100 is a charged system. Okay? But for this test, to check the air compressor for leaks, you must start off with a fully charged system, which is 125 psi. Okay? So, now you're going to start off with a fully charged system. You're going to turn your engine off. You're going to release your parking brake. You're going to, if you're doing the applied test, you're going to apply 90 pounds of pressure to the brake pedal and hold that pedal. While you're holding that pedal, you're going to count. You're going to watch your gauge, your air pressure gauge, and the needle on that gauge should not drop more than 3 psi in 1 minute. Or 60 seconds, whichever you like to say, if not both. So, for an applied test, you must not let the gauge must not drop more than 3 psi in 60 seconds while you're counting. So, to recap, the steps again are fully charged system, off, release, apply, count. Fully charged system, turn the engine off, release the parking brake, apply 90 pounds of pressure to the brake pedal, and count by watching your gauge. The arrow on the gauge should not drop more than 3 psi if you're doing an applied test in 60 seconds. Okay? However, if you're doing a static test, which is done the exact same way as the applied test, except you do not what? Apply your foot to the brake pedal. You would start off with a fully charged system, engine off, release the parking brake, and watch the gauge and count. It should not drop more than 2 psi if you're doing a static test in 60 seconds or 1 minute, whichever one you like to say, if not both. Okay? So just to recap, a low leak test is used to test your air compressor for leaks. In order to conduct a low leak test, there are 2 ways to do it. One is called the applied way and one is called the static way. The applied is if you apply 90 pounds of pressure to the brake pedal. You should not lose more than 3 psi in 60 seconds. And the static is if you do not apply your foot to the brake pedal. You should not lose more than 2 psi in 60 seconds. Okay? Applied, static. Maybe I should have said applied, static. And I wouldn't have got thrown off about doing that. Anyway, so applied and static. Those are the 2 ways. 3 if your foot is on, 2 if your foot is off. 3 on, 2 off. Applied, static. What is an applied test? It's to check the air compressor for leaks. What is a static test? It's to check the air compressor for leaks, right? Because there are how many ways to check the air compressor for leaks? 2, applied and static. 3 on, 2 off. Get it? Got it. Good. So, one more recap, and then I gotta go. Okay? So, fully charged system, engine off, release the parking brake, apply 90 pounds of pressure to the brake pedal if you're doing the applied test, and count. If you're not doing the applied test, then it is a fully charged system. Turn off the engine, release the brake, and count.